June 6, 1944. 15 minutes past midnight. Over Normandy, France. 140 men from Easy Company, 506th Parachute Infantry Regiment, 101st Airborne Division sit in C-47 transport planes. They're about to jump into Nazi-occupied France, behind enemy lines, in total darkness, hours before the beach landings. Their mission: destroy German artillery, secure key positions, hold until relieved. But here's what makes Easy Company special. This isn't just one mission. This is the beginning. These men will fight from D-Day to the end of the war. 11 months of continuous combat. Through France, Belgium, Holland, Germany. They'll jump into Normandy, fight in Operation Market Garden, hold the line at Bastogne, liberate concentration camps, and finally capture Hitler's personal mountain retreat, the Eagle's Nest. They'll suffer 150% casualties. That means every position in the company will be killed or wounded, TWICE. Replacements will be killed. New replacements will take their place. Of the 140 men who jump into Normandy tonight, only 30 will walk away at the end, unscathed. But those who survive will become legends. The most famous company in American military history. This is Easy Company, from D-Day to victory. This is their story. Before Normandy, before combat, there was Camp Toccoa, Georgia. Summer 1942. The 506th Parachute Infantry Regiment is being formed. They need volunteers. For something insane. Jump out of perfectly good airplanes with 100 pounds of gear behind enemy lines, where you'll probably die. Thousands of men volunteer anyway, for extra pay, for glory, for adventure. One of those volunteers, Dick Winters, 24 years old, Pennsylvania, officer candidate. Another, Lewis Nixon, Yale graduate, rich kid who could have avoided combat entirely. Another, Donald Malarkey, Oregon, tough kid from the Depression. 140 men form Easy Company. Average age, 22. Most have never been in a real fight. Their training officer, Captain Herbert Sobel, he's going to make their lives hell, and that hell is about to forge them into the finest combat unit in the American Army. Camp Toccoa. Summer and fall 1942. Captain Herbert Sobel runs Easy Company like a tyrant. He's obsessed with discipline, with perfection. Every morning, run up Currahee Mountain. 3 miles, straight up, in full gear, then back down. 3 miles up, 3 miles down becomes their mantra. Physical training is brutal. 12-mile marchers become 15-mile, then 20-mile, with full combat load. Sobel inspects everything: rifles, uniforms, footlockers. If one thing is wrong, the entire company is punished. Weekend passes canceled, extra duty, more runs, more drills. The men hate Sobel, despise him. He's petty, vindictive, plays favorites. But here's what they don't understand yet. Sobel is making them hard, resilient, unbreakable. Winters emerges. Dick Winters stands out, quiet, competent, natural leader. Sobel notices, feels threatened, starts singling Winters out for punishment, but Winters never complains, just does the work. Does it better than everyone? The men notice. They start looking to Winters, not Sobel. A rift forms. Sobel is the official leader. Winters is the real leader. The mutiny. January 1944. Camp Mackle, North Carolina. Advanced training. The NCOs, sergeants of Easy Company, have had ENOUGH of Sobel. He's incompetent in the field, gets lost on exercises, makes tactical errors. They're terrified he'll get them killed in combat. The NCOs write a letter requesting transfer. All of them, together. It's basically a mutiny in wartime. They could be court-martialed. The Army investigates. Realizes Sobel is incompetent in field tactics. Solution: Sobel is transferred. Winters is promoted to Company XO Executive Officer. Lieutenant Thomas Meehan becomes company commander. The men celebrate. Sobel is gone. But years later, many will admit, Sobel made them who they are. His brutal training saved their lives. By June 1944, Easy Company is ready. They're the best trained paratroopers in the division. They hate each other sometimes, fight, argue, but they're brothers, forged together. They're about to need that brotherhood because they're going to Normandy. June 6, 1944, D-Day. The jump into Normandy is supposed to be precise. Tight drop zones. Company lands together. Executes mission. But it all goes wrong. Within seconds of jumping, Easy Company is scattered across 25 square miles, lost, alone, in darkness, with Germans everywhere. June 6, 1944, 1:15 a.m. The C-47s carrying Easy Company are flying over Normandy. Anti-aircraft fire. Everywhere, flak shells exploding, planes shaking. The pilots are supposed to fly slow and low, tight formation, so the paratroopers land together. But the flak is too heavy. Pilots panic. Speed up, swerve, climb, green light, jump. The paratroopers jump into chaos. Tracers, explosions, planes on fire. They're jumping from too high, too fast, wrong locations. Dick Winters lands in a field, alone. Checks his equipment, assembles his rifle, clicks his cricket. The little metal clicker paratroopers use to identify each other. Click, click, no response. He's alone. The gathering. Slowly, throughout the night, small groups of paratroopers find each other. Winters finds 12 men. Mixed units. Easy Company. Fox Company. Random soldiers. Their CO, Lieutenant Meehan. His plane was shot down. Everyone killed. Meehan is dead. Winters is now the highest-ranking Easy Company officer in Normandy. He's in command. Mission: destroy German artillery at Brecourt Manor. 4 German 105mm guns, firing on Utah Beach. If those guns aren't destroyed, thousands of men landing on Utah will die. Winters has 12 men. The guns are defended by 50 Germans in fortified positions. Any sane person would wait for reinforcements. More men. Air support. Winters: we're doing it now. Brecourt Manor. Winters and his 12 men approach the German position. Early morning. Just after dawn. 4 artillery guns, connected by trenches. Germans manning them, machine gun nests covering. Winters studies the position, formulates a plan. In his head. In seconds. We'll assault 1 gun at a time. Suppress with fire. Flank. Take it. Move to the next. Repeat. It's insane. 12 men attacking 50, but it might work. They attack the first gun. Covering fire. Private John D. Hall flanks right. Throws grenade into the position. Germans killed. They take the first gun. Destroy it with TNT. Second gun. Same tactic. Private Carwood, Lipton, and Winters lead the assault. Machine gun fire everywhere. Private Popeye Wynn is hit. Leg wound, bleeding, but they take the second gun. Destroy it. Third gun. They're running out of ammunition. Running out of men, but they push on. Fourth gun. Reinforcements finally arrive. More Easy Company men. They overwhelm the position. All 4 guns destroyed. Mission complete. Casualties: 4 wounded. 0 killed. They beat 50 Germans with 12 men. Brecourt Manor becomes legendary. Military academies teach it as a textbook example of small unit tactics. Dick Winters is recommended for the Medal of Honor. He'll receive the Distinguished Service Cross instead. Easy Company has proven itself in their first combat against impossible odds. But D-Day is just the beginning. They'll fight across Normandy for 33 more days. July 1944. Easy Company is fighting through the hedgerows of Normandy. Brutal close-quarters combat. Men are dying, being wounded. The unit is being ground down. And their toughest test is yet to come. June-July 1944. Normandy, the hedgerows. If you don't know hedgerows, imagine thick bushes 10 feet high with dirt mounds at the base. They surround every field, every road. Perfect for defense. Germans hide behind them. Machine guns, mortar, snipers. Easy Company fights field by field, hedgerow by hedgerow. Brutal, grinding combat. Men die, not in dramatic battles, just Shot by a sniper you never see, a mortar you never hear. Private John Yanovic, killed by mortar. He was 20. Private Warren Muck, killed by artillery. Best friends with Donald Malarkey. Malarkey is devastated. Lieutenant Thomas Peacock, killed by a machine gun. Winter's friend. The casualties mount. 15 killed, 30 wounded. Replacements arrive. They die too. By the time Easy Company leaves Normandy in July, they've suffered 50% casualties. Half the men who jumped on D-Day are gone. Operation Market Garden, September 1944. Holland, Operation Market Garden. The plan: drop paratroopers behind German lines, capture bridges, hold them until ground forces arrive. If it works, the Allies reach Germany by Christmas. War ends if it fails. Well, Easy Company jumps into Holland. September 17th, daylight jump, much better than Normandy. They land together. As a unit, secure their objectives, but other units aren't so lucky. British paratroopers at Arnhem are slaughtered. The operation fails. Easy Company ends up holding positions in Holland for MONTHS. October, November, cold, wet, miserable. More casualties, snipers, artillery, disease. But they hold, because that's what they do. By November 1944, Easy Company is a veteran unit, battle-hardened, professional. But they're also exhausted, battered. They need rest. They're pulled off the line, sent to Mermillon, France. A quiet sector for rest and refit. Finally, a break. Hot food, clean uniforms, sleep. The men think, maybe we'll sit out the rest of the war here. Do occupation duty. December 16th, 1944. The phone rings at Division HQ. The Germans have launched a massive offensive. Breakthrough in the Ardennes. The Battle of the Bulge. Every available unit is being rushed to stop them, including Easy Company. They load onto trucks. In the middle of the night, no winter gear, no proper supplies. They're going to Bastogne. We've already covered Bastogne in a previous video, so I won't repeat. But Easy Company was there, part of the 101st Airborne. They held that line. They endured the siege, the cold, the German attacks. They held. But Bastogne breaks something in the company. The casualties, the cold, the hopelessness. By January 1945, when relief arrives, Easy Company is spent. Physically, mentally, spiritually. They need to be pulled off the line. But the war isn't over. Germany is next. February-March 1945. Easy Company is refitted. Replacements arrive. Again. By now, the original Easy Company from Tokoa barely exists. Most are dead, wounded, or sent home. The company is now a mix. A few originals, many replacements. Some on their third unit after their previous ones were wiped out. But the core leadership remains. Winters, Nixon, Lipton. They hold the company together. April 1945. Easy Company crosses into Germany. The heart of the Third Reich. Towns are surrendering. German soldiers are surrendering. The war is clearly ending, but there are still diehards. Cis units. Hitler Youth. Fighting to the last. Easy Company liberates small towns, meets Russian forces. Accepts German surrenders. The camp. April 1945. Easy Company approaches a town called Landsberg. They see a smell first, before they see anything. A horrific smell. Then they see the fence. Barbed wire. Guard towers. A concentration camp. The gates are open. Prisoners stumbling out. Living skeletons. Barely human. Easy Company men are shocked, horrified. Many vomit. Some cry. They'd heard rumors about camps, but seeing it, smelling it, it's different. This is what they've been fighting. This is WHY. The men force local German civilians to tour the camp, to bury the dead. You did this. You allowed this. Easy Company never forgets what they saw. It hardens them, justifies everything they endured. The Eagle's Nest, May 5th, 1945. Easy Company receives orders. Advance to Berchtesgaden. Capture Hitler's mountain retreat. The Eagle's Nest, Hitler's personal villa. 6,000 feet up in the Bavarian Alps, it's a RSCE. Multiple Allied units are converging. Everyone wants the prestige of capturing Hitler's home. Easy Company arrives first, May 5th. They climb the mountain. Take the Eagle's Nest. It's empty. Hitler is dead in Berlin. His staff fled. But the symbolism is massive. Easy Company, the men who jumped into Normandy on D-Day, have captured Hitler's personal retreat. From D-Day to the Eagle's Nest, the entire war, they did it. V-Day, May 8, 1945. Germany surrenders. The war in Europe is over. Easy Company celebrates, drinking captured German wine. In Hitler's house, on top of a mountain, they've survived. The ones still alive. They made it. But the celebration is bittersweet. So many friends didn't make it, so many empty chairs. And there's still the Pacific. Japan hasn't surrendered. Easy Company might be sent there next. They wait, training for a possible jump into Japan. Dreading it, August 6th, atomic bomb on Hiroshima. August 9th, Nagasaki. August 15th, Japan surrenders. The war is over, completely, finally. Easy Company has fought from June 6, 1944 to May 8, 1945, 11 months of continuous combat. They've jumped into 2 combat zones, fought in 5 campaigns, earned 4 campaign stars. Of the 140 men who started in Tokoa, only 30 finished the war without being killed or wounded. But they did they survived. They won. Easy Company is sent to Austria for occupation duty. Relatively cushy, guarding German posts, enjoying the mountains. One by one, the men are discharged. Point system. Those with the most combat time get to go home first. The originals go first. Winters, Nixon, Malarkey, Lipton. The replacements stay longer. Then they go home too. By late 1945, Easy Company is disbanded, ceased to exist. The men scatter across America. Back to civilian life. Jobs, families, trying to forget the war. For 50 years, Easy Company's story is mostly forgotten. The men don't talk about it much. It's too painful, too personal, but in the 1990s, something changes. A historian finds them, interviews them, tells their story, and Easy Company becomes immortal. What made Easy Company special? They weren't the only paratroopers, weren't the only unit to see heavy combat. So why do we remember them? The answer, brotherhood. Easy Company wasn't just a military unit. It was a family, forged in the hell of Tokoa, tempered in combat, listened to the survivors talk. Interviews from the 1990s, 2000s. They all say the same thing. We'd do anything for each other. Anything. We were closer than brothers. Winters' leadership. Dick Winters. The man who led Easy Company through most of the war. He wasn't the loudest, wasn't the most aggressive, but he had something rare. The men trusted him completely. They'd follow him anywhere. Why? Because Winters never asked them to do anything he wouldn't do himself. He led from the front, shared their hardships. Ate last, slept last. When Winters said, "Follow me," they followed. No questions. After the war, Winters refused promotion, refused fame. Just went back to Pennsylvania, quiet life. But every man in Easy Company revered him. Best officer I ever served under. Best man I ever knew. The reunions. After the war, the survivors stayed in touch. Letters, phone calls. They held reunions, annual gatherings, bringing the company back together. At first, just a handful showed up. But over the years, more came. Wives, kids, grandkids. The Easy Company reunions became legendary. Men in their 60s, 70s, 80s, hugging, crying, laughing, talking about battles, about friends long dead, about the best and worst time of their lives. One veteran said, "I spent 11 months with these men. And hell, I've spent 50 years with my wife. But I'm closer to these guys." Easy Company shows us that combat creates bonds stronger than anything else. These men endured things civilians can't imagine. Together, that shared experience is unbreakable. Years later, even as they're dying of old age, they're still brothers. The Easy Company story might have died with them. Just memories, fading photos. But then, a historian changes everything. 1990, historian Stephen Ambrose is researching D-Day. He interviews veterans. One of them mentions Easy Company. You should talk to Dick Winters. Hell of a story. Ambrose finds Winters, interviews him. Winters is reluctant, doesn't want attention. But Ambrose is persistent. Your story needs to be told. For history, Winters agrees. Connects Ambrose with other Easy Company survivors. Ambrose interviews dozens of them. Collects their stories, their memories. Ambrose publishes Band of Brothers, the book about Easy Company. It's a bestseller. People are fascinated. This incredible story nobody knew about. The HBO series, late 1990s. Tom Hanks and Steven Spielberg read Band of Brothers. They're blown away. We need to make this into a film. No, a series. There's too much story for one film. They partner with HBO, massive budget. $125 million. Most expensive TV series ever made at the time. They cast unknown actors to look like real soldiers. Not movie stars. They train the actors at a boot camp, put them through hell, to understand what Easy Company endured. September 2001, Band of Brothers premieres on HBO, 10 episodes. September-November 2001, it's released right after 9/11. America is reeling, searching for heroes, for meaning. Band of Brothers gives them that. A story of ordinary men doing extraordinary things, sacrificing for their brothers. For their country, the series is a phenomenon. Emmy Awards, Golden Globes, critical acclaim. More importantly, it introduces Easy Company to a new generation. Millions of people. Kids watch it with their grandparents. Veterans watch it and cry. They got it right. That's what it was like, the impact. After Band of Brothers, Easy Company becomes legendary. The surviving veterans become celebrities, invited to speak, to schools, to military academies. They're uncomfortable with the attention. We're not heroes, we just did our job, but people don't see it that way. They see heroes, men who saved the world. Dick Winters is invited to West Point to speak to cadets. He talks about leadership, about duty, about brotherhood. The cadets listen in silence. This man, this legend, is standing in front of them. Winters' message: be the leader your men deserve. Care about them. They'll follow you to hell. One by one, the Easy Company veterans die. Old age, disease. Dick Winters dies in 2011. Age, 92. Thousands attend his funeral. Veterans. Actors from the series. Strangers who felt connected to his story. The last surviving member of the original Toccoa group, Bradford Freeman, dies in 2022. Age 97. Easy Company is gone. All of them. But their story lives. Band of Brothers is still watched by millions. Every year. Military academies still teach Easy Company's tactics. Leadership courses still use Winters as an example. And young people still watch the series and think, I want to serve. I want to be part of something bigger. So what is the legacy beyond the tactics? Beyond the fame? What did Easy Company really teach us? Today, you can visit Easy Company's battlefields. Brecourt Manor in Normandy, still there, a memorial plaque. Easy Company, 506th Pier, destroyed 4 German guns here. June 6, 1944. Bastogne, the woods where they froze and fought. Foxholes still visible. The Eagle's Nest, now a tourist attraction. People ride the elevator up, look at the view. Not knowing Easy Company was the first Allied unit there. So what's the legacy? The military legacy. Easy Company proves that leadership matters more than technology, more than numbers. Winters led with competence. With care, with courage. His men followed him because of that. Modern military academies study Winters' leadership. This is what right looks like, but it's more than just Winters. The NCOs, the sergeants, Lipton, Garner, Toy, they led too. Easy Company shows that leadership exists at every level, not just the top. The human legacy, but the deeper legacy is brotherhood. Easy Company shows that humans are capable of incredible things when they're part of something bigger than themselves. These weren't superhumans, they were regular guys. From small towns, from cities, rich kids, all mixed together. But they became brothers, and that brotherhood made them unstoppable. When Winters jumped into Normandy, he wasn't thinking about America, or democracy, or freedom. He was thinking, I need to keep my men alive when Malarkey charged a German position. He wasn't thinking about defeating fascism. He was thinking, my buddies are counting on me. That's what war is for soldiers. It's not about nations or ideologies. It's about the guy next to you. Easy Company exemplifies that. Brotherhood above all. The generational impact. Band of Brothers has been watched by an estimated 50 million people worldwide. How many of those people joined the military because of it? Thousands. Maybe tens of thousands. How many learned about leadership from it? Millions. How many simply learned that ordinary people can do extraordinary things? Everyone who watched it. That's Easy Company's legacy. Not just what they did, but what they inspire others to do. Dick Winters wrote in his memoirs, I cherish the memories of a question my grandson asked me the other day. He said, Grandpa, were you a hero in the war? Grandpa said, no, but I served in a company of heroes. That quote sums up Easy Company. They weren't heroes in their own eyes, just men doing their jobs, looking out for each other. But together? Together they were legendary, from D-Day to the Eagle's Nest, from Tokoa to the end of the war. They jumped into the darkness. They fought through hell. They lost brothers. They survived. And they showed the world what brotherhood looks like. That's Easy Company. That's Band of Brothers. Not just a military unit. A family forever. There's one more thing we need to talk about. The men who didn't come home. Of the 140 men who trained at Tokoa, 49 were killed in action. 35%. They're buried across Europe and America. Normandy American Cemetery. Rows of white crosses. Some say Easy Company, 506th Pier, Henry Chappelle Cemetery in Belgium. More Easy Company graves. And scattered across America, small town cemeteries, where families buried their sons. These men never got to go home. Never got to marry, have kids, grandkids, grow old. They died at 19.22, 25, in the prime of life. The cost. We celebrate Easy Company's victories, their brotherhood, their heroism. But we can't forget the cost. Every one of those 49 dead was someone's son, someone's brother, someone's friend. Families destroyed. Lives never lived. Potential never realized. That's the real cost of war. Not just the battles, the people, the responsibility. Those of us who tell these stories have a responsibility to honor the dead, to tell the truth. Yes, Easy Company was heroic. Yes, they did incredible things. But they also suffered, died, were traumatized. Many survivors had PTSD, nightmares, alcoholism, broken marriages. The Band of Brothers series shows this. The cost, the trauma. It's not all glory. There's pain, loss, scars that never heal. The gratitude, but we owe them, the Easy Company men, and all veterans. They gave everything so we could live free. Winters, Malarkey, Lipton, and the 49 who didn't come home. They deserve to be remembered, honored, celebrated, not as propaganda, but as real people who did real things. At real cost. Solution final. Recuerdo eterno. Today, Easy Company lives on. Not just in Band of Brothers, but in memory, in spirit. When we talk about brotherhood, about leadership, about sacrifice, we think of Easy Company. When we need examples of courage, of duty, of honor, we look to Easy Company. They're all gone now. The last veteran died in 2022, but their story is immortal because it's not just THEIR story. It's our story, humanity's story. The story of ordinary people doing extraordinary things together. The story of brothers who die for each other and did. That's Easy Company. From Tokoa to the Eagle's Nest, From D-Day to victory, they were a company of heroes, and we will never forget them. If you ever visit Normandy, go to the American Cemetery at Courvel-sur-Mer. Walk among the 9,000 white crosses. Find the Easy Company graves. Stand there. And think about the 19-year-old kid from Pennsylvania who jumped into darkness, who fought through hell, who never came home. Think about the sacrifice, the brotherhood, the cost. Easy Company shows us the best and worst of humanity. The worst, war, death, destruction. The best, brotherhood, courage, sacrifice. They were ordinary men in extraordinary circumstances, and they rose to meet them. From Tocoa to Normandy, from Bastogne to Berchtesgaden, they fought, they bled, they died, they won, and they became immortal. Not because of what they did, but because of who they were, brothers, to the end. This was Easy Company, 506th Parachute Infantry Regiment, 101st Airborne Division, Band of Brothers, Currahee. I'm Warbound Secrets, and I will never forget them. Click now, subscribe, and I'll see you on Iwo Jima.